Good evening, welcome to tonight's Hearthstone half hour, or hour as it is on a Tuesday. I'm Hammy and this is FailCraft Casts. Hope you're well and good. On Tuesday what we do is pick a hero. In fact, you pick a hero on Twitter, and then together live on stream we can pick a deck together. A bit nice, a bit nasty, it's whatever you decide. Today it's been Paladin for the choice, so we're going to jump on in. And as we throw out these cards and let people make their choices if they're live on twitch.tv/FailCraftCast, we'll just go through our three little concepts that we go for a solid arena. A big welcome to CSH. And others who are live too. Our three concepts are always: one, review deck often. We generally pick 3 points in the 30 cards so we can just see how our cards are shaping up when we do review those cards. Number two, we always take a look at our mana curve. Lots of stuff earlier, we rushing. Mid-game, are we trying to win then? Later, we controlling? Kinda tough when it comes to arena, but perhaps possible with the right draw. And also spells against minions, just to get a broad idea of if we're doing a kind of minion-heavy style, are we throwing a lot of spells around, just for our playstyle. Number three, we then go through the deck list over on the right-hand side of this screen, and what we do is just go card by card, mana by mana cost, and try and work out how we're going to be playing. Now, if we pull those 3 points together, what it lets us do is have an idea of what we have, what we might want to pick, and what we're kind of missing from our picks as well. So stuff we might want to pick, say we have no tanks, we might want to pick those. Reviewing your deck often and trying to see how it comes together lets you try and pick the best cards possible when it comes to the later stages. So we're going to be jumping in with some Paladin today. So a big welcome to Sparta 2. We're going to be going, so first we have the Sunwalker, we have the Sun Fury Protector, and the Wild Pyromancer. So Sunwalker, a great tank, sticky, hard to remove, needs to be silenced. The bubble will cause some trouble too. Number one. Number two, Sun Fury, great if you have big, nasty, tanky minions. That's very, very awesome indeed. You can then throw that down and have more tanks as well. And number three, Wild Pyromancer. After you cast a spell, deal 1 damage to all. Now, good with Paladin actually if you draw an equality. So you play equality, it causes all minions of course to have 1 health, and then the Pyromancer does the 1 damage. So equality Pyromancer is a great little combo. Clears the table. Remember, of course, 1 damage to all minions. Clears your side of the table as well, so you don't want too many minions indeed. Sunwalker, Sun Fury Protector, or Wild Pyromancer. What are you fancying? From those three, Paladin-wise, we can draw into a whole bunch of things, but whatever you be fancying is the most important thing. So obviously on Tuesdays, if you fancy a serious deck, you pick seriously. If you fancy picking a bunch of Wisps and Murlocs, we go Wisp and Murloc. We are not ashamed of that. It could be as fun or as silly as you like. So, Sunwalker. Looks like it's going to be a Sunwalker. Sunwalker gets the nod. Next, Kazan Mystic and Imp Master. Ooh, a must-have for battle. Kazan Mystic, good if you steal secrets. Great, actually, really strong in ladder at the moment. You can see these everywhere because of hunters, paladins, you name them, mages, throwing everything around. So not bad. A 4/4/3, so solid enough minion. Imp Walker, if it takes damage, it summons. Well, sorry, at the end of the turn you deal damage and it summons an imp. Very nice indeed. That can summon lots of imps. Can you buff those imps? If so, it's good. Muster for battle. Well, very popular after a knife juggler. Summon those 3/1/1/7 recruits. A wonderful weapon that lets you do a little bit of chip, a little bit of maybe table control against 1 mana minions. 1 health minions. Sorry, difference between health and mana. Muster gets the nod. And then next we have an Ironbeak Owl, a Tinkertown Technician, or a Gnome Regan Infantry, as they say. So the Ironbeak Owl, great for silence, good for getting through tanks, taking away nasty card text, all kinds of things. Tinkertown Tech, a solid minion in itself. If you have mechs, it becomes even stronger. You get the 1/1 and the spare part. It then becomes a wonderful value. Those fans of value, quote unquote. And then the Gnome Gun Infantry, good if you have a Hobgoblin to buff it, but otherwise it's a 1/4 charge taunt. You can buff it, cool. If not, You guys have gone for Owl. Next we've got Puddle Stomper. Consecration, or a Seal of Light. Puddle Stomper 2/3/2, a solid Murloc, a solid card in orbit name. It's one of our solid minions that we talk about. It works for its mana cost, its stats are good, it doesn't have any downsides, you can play it on a turn and you can do something. In Arena, if in doubt, solid stuff is good, solid minions are good. Consecrate. Seal of Light, not a bad removal with a bit of health, it's kind of a nice heal and a little chip. Everyone's gone for Consecrate. Going for the board clear that Consecrate offers, it's very strong indeed. We have a Spiteful Smith, a Tauren Warrior, or a Shielded Minibot. The Smith is good, remember we're a Paladin, we can swing weapons. This is a solid minion in itself, I think 4/6 is pretty awesome. Not too bad for 5 mana. If this gets damaged, your weapon has +2, so not bad for the late game. Tauren Warrior is a solid enough minion, and Rage, it pluses 3, it goes from a 2/3 to a 5/2. It does have a taunt, but then you have Shielded Minibot, the Shield Bot. Used in a bunch of Paladin ladder decks, and of course pretty nice. It can trade, it's 2/2/2 Wally, says Sparta. Everyone's gone for Wally. He is a really good early game trading card in that you can trade away your opponent's minions and get some good table control potentially if you draw him early. Spider Tank does whatever a Spider Tank does. A brilliant 3-drop, nothing wrong with it. With Mitt cards it becomes even better. The Archmage, spell damage +1. Not a strong minion actually, that's 7 health, 4 attack, 6 mana. It will do a good job. Pardon me, didn't want to destroy your ears there. The camera trying to refocus after taking a look. So yeah, nothing wrong with Archmage in a pinch, it's not bad. And then we also have the Breeder Bay Bodyguard. He is not so strong on the health front, he is a tank. There are better 5 mana tanks up there. Thank you very much. Gesundheit indeed. And then last but not least, any of those 3 you'd be fancying. We've got a strange split down the middle, so I'm going to take my streamer's choice. I'm going to go for the Spider Tank. I like a nice bit of early game pressure, and the Spider Tank gives that in spades. Avenge, Elven Archer, Micro Machine. The Micro Machine, good if you can buff its health, good if you can protect it behind a tank, otherwise it sits there and probably dies. Elven Archer, not a bad 1-drop with a good ping, it's good value if you don't have anything else to pick. And then Avenge, when one of your minions dies, give a random friendly minion +3/+2. You need to make sure that you have 2 minions on the table. Avenge is your choice, and I have won games with Avenge. I had an arena deck I played once with 4 Avenge. That was hilarious because my opponent was just killing minions and they were getting +3/+2'd all over the shop. Very, very good value, this secret. Spider Tank, Repentance, Cogmaster. Cogmaster, well, we have mechs. Repentance, not so strong unless you can drop it in the late game or mid to late game so that you can have a nice low health enemy that you can just trade away. And then Spider Tank number 2, we have some nice early game pressure coming on. Next we've got an Argent Protector, if I can type properly. Holy Light, or a Mechanical Yeti. Argent Protector, Holy Light, Mech Yeti. Argent Protector does some nice trades, more bubbles are always great. The Holy Light, restoring 6 health for 2 mana, incredibly mana efficient. And then Yeti 4/4/5, it's like a Chillwind, but you give each of you a spare part, but still very strong for a 4-drop. Next we have a Divine Favour, a Stampeding, 3 very nice cards here. Stampeding Kodo, or a Nerup Egg. Divine Favour is Pally card draw. If your opponent's got a nice fat hand and you've got a nice small one, then it's great. If your opponent's got a tiny hand and you've got a big one, useless. Kodo, good for stamping out things. Stamping through minions with 2 less attack. Nerubian Egg, good if you can get damage on it. Kodo gets the nod for the value. It's a 2/1. You play the minion, it can trade, and you also have that to destroy as well. Oh, we're getting some very strong and nice picks here. Shield Bearer, good for anchoring the early game down, but then of course no attack on it, sadly. Holy Light we've already covered, a nice little heal is always welcome and useful. Or a Shielded Minibot, we've got 1, do you want 2? So strong, very nice in terms of early game trades. Drawing some of those. Wally gets the vote. He is definitely Wally actually. I'd never really thought about that before. If you have a look at the Shielded Minibot, he is kind of Wally. Next we've got a South Sea Deckhand. Frost Elemental, or a Hammer of Wrath. Where is Legion Hogger, the advocate of Hammer of Wrath when you need him? So he would be very pleased to see this card, and the reason for that is that it's pretty solid. 3 damage, draw a card, not the strongest nuke, but you get the card draw benefit as well. Frost Elemental, if we come into the later games, 6/6, 6/5/5, it's solid enough. Freezing a character, you can freeze your enemy hero as well as minions. Sassy deckhand, good if you have a weapon. At the moment we have none, bar potentially the Mustafa Battle, of course. So it looks as though 2 Hammers of Wrath get the nod. Next we got an Abomination. He comes from the greatest nation on Azeroth, the Abomination, as Stitches in Heroes of the Storm would say. The Don, before we were had things like the Sludge Belcher. 2 damage to all characters, including heroes, everything. A little bit painful, was great in Control Warrior. Cold Light, risky. Do you want your opponent to be drawing cards? Kazan gets the nods. It's a 4/3 at worst. If we're playing a secret playing class, it could make the difference between victory and defeat. People tend, as we have, to like secrets. Silverback, Humility or Revenge. The Silverback is okay, but not the strongest 3-drop. Humility is good in the late game, not awful. I don't know if there are big minions throwing around. Minions can be pretty nasty in this. And Avenge. Make them kneel. Everyone's gone for some humility. Of course, if we have big nasty minions throwing around, then that's all good. Next we've got a Magma Rager, a Mogushan Warden, or a Harvest Golem. Magma Rager, statistically terrible in Hearthstone. If you play it, you're very likely to lose after playing it. According to the Hearthstone folks themselves, the dev team have said thus at BlizzCon 2014. Mogushan Warden is really cool if you can make him, you know, wombo combo him or something. He's an awkward tank to remove. You'll certainly need to swim a few times. Golem, Magma Rager, please, Golem. I love the Magma Rager vote. It's just like, well, we've got to vote for Magma Rager. He needs some kind of friends. He doesn't have many friends. The Magma's going to rage, as Swifty fans would say. Ardent Squire, Wolf Rider, Seal of Light. We've covered the seal, not so awful. Wolf Rider, charge in, damage, die. Ardent Squire does some nice trades. A little bit of chip in the early game, if we really need it. So betwixt those 3, while you take a pick from those 3, I think we need to do our first deck review because we're halfway through. We've got a solid split between everything. I'm going to jump in and say, I'm going to go with Wolf. Deck review time. Going to review these cards, grab the light and turn it on, and then we're going to do our first deck review. Be right back in 2 seconds. Take a pick from those. And back we come. Chow Sergeant, Sergeant it is. Okay, the Sergeant gets the nod. I'll let you look at those cards. Let's review. We should have reviewed a little earlier, but it's not too bad to review now. So first things first, Mana Curve. We have a nice solid early game opening, a little bit in the mid game. Maybe you want to try and get a bit more in that mid game. We'll see how we go. Next, spells against minions. Well, with Avenge, Humility, we've got a little bit of tech there. Muster as well. Consecrate, Hammer of Wrath. That's 4 spells I see against a rather hefty 13 minions, which is good. We've got a nice solid core that we can keep pushing forward with. And then, turn by turn, our point 3. Well, Avenge can go down whenever. Ideally when we've got a couple of minions on the board. Humility safe for the late game, mid to late game to downplay and make it a little bit less scary. Those big, nasty attacking minions. Abusive, whenever, make bigger trades with less. Abusive is always quite good for that. Owl can be saved to silence through and remove tanks, perhaps for the win, or nasty card techs. Play the shielded as we see them make some nice plays. Muster can just pretty much hit down as we see. If we do get a Knife Juggler, can play it after that. Golem play as we see, Spider Tanks play as we see, Wolf Rider play as we see. A Consecrate can clear the table. We may want to look to try and grab another Consecrate or an Equality to combo up, so we've got some board control if we need. Wrath we can use as control to pick things off. Kazan play as we see, unless against secrets decks, in which case let's steal stuff. Play as we see for all of those remaining. So we've got a nice solid deck core there. I think we could do perhaps we've got enough in the early to mid game if we draw into it to fight for it, but maybe a little bit more. I think we need to start looking for our win conditions. How are we going to win in the mid game? If so, we want to try and grab some big nasty mid game minions. Might be pretty good. Otherwise, do we want to go late? We've got the beginnings of a controlly early to mid-game Paladin here, but we need some big hitters or something to help finish the game off, probably in the mid-game at this point. So, back to our draw. Let's do our next review at maybe 23 or 24 cards. Explosive Sheep, Armani Berserker, or a Raging Worgen. The alternative is, of course, that we can just go full-on face, full-on chargy face, pressury Paladin. That could be pretty fun. Could do some good stuff there. Explosive Sheep, good against aggro, otherwise will cause us problems, causing all of our minions and things, but if we are really playing a very aggressive opponent, that could be quite handy. Berserker, Enrage, +3, 2/3 to 5/2 with 1 damage, and could be very nasty for pressure in the early game. Raging Worgen, equally nasty and horrible, because if you enrage it, win fear in 1 attack, that 3 attack suddenly becomes 8, because you can swing for 4 twice in 1 go. Looks like Armani Sheep, Armani or Sheep, Sheep or Armani. No one is in favour of the Raging Worgen. So I think we are going to be going for... Ooh, confusion. What is it going to be between those two? Sheep, Sheep, Armani, Armani. Right, I'm going to cut through these decisions. I'm going to go with some. Let's have a look at our turn 2 at the moment. We've got a lot of turn 2. It's going to be one of the two. I'm going to go with the Sheep. I wonder. Ha. Next. Jeeves, Secret Keeper, or Arcane Nullifier. X21. Jeeves helps us draw cards, helps our opponent draw cards. Not so great, of course, if we have card draw to do. Secret Keeper, well, we've only got 1 secret, so it's not going to get hugely buffed. An average 1 drop. Arcane Nullifier is a really awkward and nasty tank. Can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. It has to be whacked out of the way. And as a result of that, it actually kind of sticks around. If you can buff it, it's even stronger. Let's have a look. Between those 3, some say Keeper, others say Jeeves. Oh yes, not that many secrets. Not huge amounts of secrets. There are some secrets. You can see how they're going. Sure. Because there was a draw, I may well get Streamer's Choice, and in the cases of Streamer's Choice, I'm going to go Arcane Nullifier. I'm going to go for what no one's picked, which is a little controversial, but I like having a few tanks around an arena. It is nice to have them, and we were looking for big finishing things, but we've got an interesting option there in Sword of Justice. Whenever you summon a minion, give it 1/1, and this loses 1 durability. Those 1/1s add up quite a bit. So if you're throwing all of these minions down in the early game, Shielded Minibot becomes a 3/3. Ooh, nasty. Molten Giant, good if we're taking damage. Everyone's going for Wrath. Everyone's going for Wrath. 8 damage split among 3. That's our big finisher, if ever we wanted one. Next, Shielded Minibot. We've got an Iron Beak Owl, or a Repentance. So we've covered all these 3 already. We've got 2 bots. Do we want 3? That's some great pressure. And if we manage to draw into a Blood Knight, or whatever that card is called, the one that removes bubbles and buffs the Blood Knight for however many bubbles have been removed, we could have a really nasty combo there. 1 owl, do we want 2? Some science is always good. More bots. Or Repentance, again, we've discussed, kind of hard if we needed to time it in the late game. No challenges at this point in time, but later is absolutely fine, no problem at all. Repentance or more bots? More bots rather than more dots. I can see what's going on there. Wally. I love this Wally deck. Next, a Seal of Light. Lord of the Arena, or Thralmar Fasir. No problem. No problem at all. Seal of Light. We've covered. Do we want 1? Lord of the Arena. Another tank. Bit of a 6. Taunty type option. Certainly nice for Stabilizer. Everyone's gone for that. Thralmar Fasir is kind of a poor man's Worgen in some ways, I think. Ardent Squire, Fen Creeper, or Avenge. Ooh, okay, so we could go for another tank and a 5-drop, or we could go for another Revenge, which is just pure evil. the more Avengers you can throw on the table, the funnier it is. But a Fen Creeper that sits in that 5-mana slot, people are going for that's a really sensible choice. And Fen Creeper is an awkward arena tank. It's hard to remove. It's one of those cards that struggles a little bit occasionally. Well, struggles pretty much in ranked play due to the fact that there are so many strong tanky taunty options available. Do you want to go cheaper? Ascension Shieldmaster. Do you want to go more expensive? Well, same price actually. Sludge Belcher for the double spawn, but Fen Creeper in Arena shines beautifully. Flying Machine good if you can Hobgoblin or buff the attack with the Wind Fury, otherwise it's eh. Kobold Geomancer. Spell damage +1. We don't have loads of spells. Second Order of the Arena gets the nod from you, and we're now looking very, very solid in that mid game. Loving the speed that we're moving through, folks. We're going to have room for plenty of games here. Let's keep it on coming. Now we have an Elven Archer, Acolyte of Pain, or Holy Light. We've covered Holy Light, covered Elven Archer, Acolyte of Pain. Let's us draw cards. A big welcome to Flobbit. Oh, the pain. Bring the pain. Deck review time with 6 cards to go. Right. Well, number 1, review often. Well, we've done it twice. Number 2, our mana curve and spells against minions. Solid early game, and now we're buffing up that mid game. So grab control of the table in early, win in mid. Absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. Most arena decks, if you put them together, it will probably look something like that. Unless it's an outright rush to win, then it will look something like that. Spells against minions. Avenge, Humility. We've got a little bit of techie options there. Muster. Let's make 3. Consecration and Hammer. Avenging Wrath as a finisher. 6 to 18. It's absolutely fine. 18 minions, 6 spells, a little bit of tech. Turn by turn playthrough. Our third sort of checkpoint for arena decks. We'll drop those situationally when 2 minions or with a big nasty minion. Abusive can buff things to make good trades. Probably won't throw it down on its own. I think we'll only drop the sheep if we're playing outright aggro or imp or other paladins with muster. That'd be quite handy. Ironbeak Cowl. Drop when we want to silence through a tank or with nasty card text. 3 shielded minibots. Let's just play all of the shielded minibots and swarm with Morley. I think that'll be fun. Muster for battle. Let's throw that down when we get it for some extra tokens, for some pressure. Harvest Golem. Throw when we get. Throw these down when we get. Throw when we get. Keep for control potentially. Hammer of Wrath to control minions with, I think, and card draw. Throw these down when we get, with the exception of Kazan Mystic. If we're against a secret deck, let's hold that back and try and steal a secret. Kodo, let's drop when there's a 2-drop so we can get max value if possible. And then 2 Lord of the Arenas and Sunwalker we can throw down when we get an Avenging Wrath, and we will hold for a finisher. Ideally when there's a clear enemy table, that means that we can do oh dear. Pardon me, I do hope that didn't come through any other microphones. Right, so I'm just going to tee up the next 3 pick and then we'll do our final little review point. Humility. So Dancing Sword's good if we can get rid of that silencer, if we can grab table control before our opponent draws a card. Light's Justice, not the greatest weapon. Humility, we've got 1, do you want 2? Okay, back to the deck review while you focus on stream pick. We are in a solid place. We can look to perhaps reinforce that 5-mana slot. If we take a look in the middle there, looking at our early game, we've got plenty that can grab control of the table and keep it there. We could look for mid-game finishes, I think, would probably be the thing, or maybe a late-game sort of option. I do apologise for that. It's the hottest day of the year over here in the UK, so apparently I've managed to pick up a cold. That's how we go. Humility, nice pick. And 4 cards to go. Guardian of Kings. A Nightblade. What a Dragonling Mechanic. Interesting 3 picks here. Guardian of Kings is a good bit of late game comebackness if we've taken damage to the face. Not only does it give us a big minion, but it restores 6. So for 7, that's good value in 2 different ways. Table control, table drop, table presence, a nice bit of appeal. Nightblade is equally not too bad as a 5-drop if we wanted to reinforce there. Does a good 3 damage. The 4/4 will probably the hottest day of the year so far. Weirdly, yeah, it's so far. It's not the hottest day of the year period, but yeah, apparently got up to 22, 23 degrees earlier. which is warm for the UK at this time of the year, certainly. And then the Draggling Mechanic, 2-1 Mechanical Draggling, we can do a little bit of trading there. 2-4, that can go against aggro, the Draggling can go against aggro, it's all pretty solid. So, we've got a few Goks. Guardian of Kings has got your nod, your vote indeed. Righty. I'm going to say that it's fine, it's very kind of you. In the UK it's what we call man flu. It's annoying enough to give you a little bit of a sneeze, but not enough to actually make you feel ill. Do you know what I mean? It's irritating rather than debilitating, rather than awkward, rather than actually making you feel rough, so it's absolutely fine. Okay, Worgen Infiltrator, Micro Machine, or True Silver Champion. Well, the Infiltrator, throw down, do some damage, probably might get straight out the way. Covered Micro Machine already, not bad if we can throw it up behind tanks. And then the True Silver Champion, swing in, 4 damage, 2 health restore, the weapon of weapons. And for those of you who are new to Hearthstone, it's a basic. You play through a few levels as Paladin, against whoever you like, against the computer or anything, and you can grab a True Silver Champion. It's a pretty nice weapon. Between those three, well, there's nothing wrong with a 1-drop, nothing wrong with a 2-drop. The True Silver, not going to lie, is quite an attractive proposition. I would invest in True Silver. I know I'm not meant to say anything to try and swing your opinion, but True Silver's pretty nice. Viable arena-ness. Righty, I'm going to take that as a split stream. It is a split stream vote. True Silver it is. Hi-yo! Let's keep things moving. Goldshire Footman, Wisp or Repentance. Well, that's a pretty horrible 3-drop, and I know that there's one card that will be very popular. Goldshire is neither nor, really. It's neither an attacking threat nor a really solid tank for its 1 mana cost. Repentance we've already covered. I actually generally think that Wisp is a solid option. You know, there's nothing wrong with a Wisp in this context. Given between those three, I guess if I was really picking at straws, we could try and use a Repentance. But Wisp is one of those cards that's great to play for free, but you need to pressure with. You need to buff. Let's just pick the Wisp. We know what makes people happy. Lay on Hands, a Murloc Warleader, or a South Sea Captain. That's an interesting 3. So South Sea Captain, it's like any family, it's like any tribe, as they've called it in other card games. So you've got a tribe of pirates, a tribe of Murlocs. Good if you've got other pirates. If not, he's a 3/3/3. If we needed a 3-drop, that'd be a great choice. Murloc Warleader, all other Murlocs, and again, just like the South Sea Captain, but for Murloc, all other Murlocs with 2+2/+1 is great, but we have no Murlocs. Just saying. Then there's Lay on Hands, restore 8, draw 3. Really nice pick. There we go. Final review. So let's get this going. Control early to mid game with minions. Hopefully win mid to mid late game with. We don't have huge finishes. We need to clear the table for an Avenging Wrath. I think that's our best option if we can do that. But we do have some chunky, taunty minions in the mid to mid late game with functionality that can chip away. So we keep chipping away at face, keep the table under control, and then win at mid to mid late. Let's go. Let's do this. Looking forward. We've got a good 20 minutes for our hour, so that means we can certainly get a few good games in, I think. Okay, so let's see how this rolls. I'm going to try my best. Hey, maybe we'll win 12 in a row. This is solid. Maybe a Consecrate, maybe an Equality. A couple more of those. Hey, if we pick Tyrion, that always makes you so dangerous in Arena. But we've got a good solid deck. You guys have picked a nice solid core of a deck. It is going to have some options. Okay, until we get Unstable Portaled 3 times from this mage. Just saying that. So remembering our deck list, I don't mind the Abusive as an early drop. I'm going to keep the Harvest and Mulligan back because we want Shield of Mini-Bots and those early game drops that we know and love. Okay, well we've not really got anything until turn 2 for the Lilladin, the little Silverhand Recruit summon. Turn 3 I'd probably go with Gotham to start with. Oh, Avenging Wrath. Well, we certainly got finishing options. Loving a bit of that. Hearthstone news, for those of you having a look, don't forget that Hearthstone is out on iPhone today. So those of you who want of a tablet persuasion, who are maybe a little bit more of the iPhone variety, then Hearthstone is out on iPhone. It may not be showing up in the search, but if you have a look on @FailCraft Casts on Twitter, you can see the lovely link where you can just go straight to Hearthstone in the splendid App Store and get everything sorted. Right, so let's see what we've got. I can start shielding for shielding. I'm going to throw this down because I kind of like... Now, my opponent can ping that with his thing anyway. Ping it with Fire Blast, can charge it into that for trade. So I just want to make sure I've got enough on the table for position. I know that my opponent's going to get a few draws out of that. I'm not really going to be able to kill that off in one go, which is a little bit frustrating.
Death does not scare me.
Welcome to PG. Down goes a Deathlord on Nemesis. So you see, this is where Kodo is going to be excellent. If I can destroy him with 2 attack or less. I'm not actually going to... I'm going to throw down stuff that benefits me because... It may even be... I'm not going to trade it because I know that next turn I can just throw this down. I can just really remove this. Big welcome to PG on stream joining us live. Good to see you as well. Righty, so now because we're so confident that we can pick one of those two off. Oh, okay. Well, of course. Aha! He sacrifices. Oh, and down goes the creeper. Right. So we're looking for RNGesus to get rid of the Deathlord. Do we believe in RNGesus? Deathlord, 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 Deathlord. Oh, that's not what we wanted. That is sadness. That would have been a lot better if we could have not had that on the table. Oh, okay, well, I shouldn't have thrown that down. I could have thrown down a Wisp. Righty, so let's get rid of that Deathlord. What can it pull in? Well, anything that it pulls in will be a bonus, so now our operation is Operation Remove Deathlord. I want to save Avenging Wrath. I don't really want this to be soaking up loads of things. However, a strong board, Ogre Brood is down. I'm going to go face. Now, Hammer of Wrath could be pretty tasty. I can remove that this turn. I don't really want to avenge it. I'm going to Hammer of Wrath this out of the way. Bonk! Down goes a Wolf Rider. Let's see what gets pulled in. Oh, look at that! Thank you very much, fans, and that is why this is so awesome. So I can pretty much neuter this Ogre with a Humility. In actual fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. We've made all our trades, we've got everything on the table. If that Ogre wants to swing, he can swing. Game of Thrones. When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. The Hearth of Stones.
I wonder.
Righty then, so we've got a nice covered board. We've got some nice trades we can make, feeding those. Wisp be praised. Exclamation mark Wisp. Hailing the Kappa Wisp. Okay, so that will get bursted away, possibly we'll even get a fireball, but you know what, if we trade our opponent's entire board for that, I'm happy. However, the Shredder is a bit awkward. Is not a hero in a half shell, but what we can now do is be like, I hear you like a table. Well, I'm just going to start checking away. This is where, remember, with our deck, we don't have huge late game finishes. What we do have is a lot of stuff that we can throw down and just start pressuring with. Our Pearl here is going to need a Flame Strike, which they could do on turn 7. Not going to lie about that, there is the potential. They've gone all Shakespearean. They've gone all Macbeth. You know, we said Fen Creeper was so good. We're going to see Fen Creeper in action. Hey, Nerubian Egg, I can ignore all day. Fabulous. Right, True Silver Champ. That can hit the table. Do I want to consecrate? No. Do I want to punch this out the way? Yes. So for those reasons, punch that. Of course, it's going to die, but it would have had a glorious life. And I'm just going to keep throwing down the punchy options. Let's keep chipping away. Chip. And with the remaining 2 mana, we can throw down a little token minion. I love Shakespearean Wisp. Leon McWhisp. Whispeth, where McSlood. Someone revising Shakespeare. Someone revising Shakespeare? It's been a while since I did Shakespeare. Right, in comes a secret. Let's play the Mage Lottery. The Mage Lottery. Where will it stop? Oh, Explosive Sheep is going to cause general sadness to rise out of the table. Because of course 2 damage, he's going to spawn the Unholy. Oh, and an Illuminator. That's a nice combo. Down that goes, and he's going to be healing as long as that secret is there. So I need to bust that secret. I need to bust it. And what I'm going to do is see if it's a mirror entity. Which it's not. It might be a duplicate, which is not great either. But not knowing that it's not that is useful in itself to start with. So I'm going to let you finish, but I'm going to punch this out of the way. It's not a duplicate. Charge! Vaporize. No, it's going to be a nice barrow. I actually have an essay on. There was a website. Oh, it's terrible. I actually have an essay on Macbeth on the internet, I think. I did something silly like send it into an essay training website. God, that must have been a long time ago. Alright, I'm really testing my memory. Oh, I'm not going to find that. Ooh, do you know what? I did find it. Maybe I'll share that later. I don't know if you really want to see my old essays. Okay, can I trade some stuff off the table? I certainly can. So we've got the table clear. Let's keep chipping. As long as a flame strike feet to the table, then it'll be okay.
I am the blade of the goddess.
Silvermoon shall not fall.
Oh, I can't remember if this essay is still here. Ah, that's really fascinating. Oh no, sorry, it was Othello.
Let me think.
Examine the first 2 scenes of Othello. This was an Othello essay I wrote. Anyway, right. Less distraction, more Hearthstone. Avenging Wrath is still not going to be max effectiveness. I could go face.
The battle.
In fact, you know what? Let's just get things under control. Okay, that's actually not so bad, because that gives us full tabular control. But remember, of course, that sacrificing minions is not going to trigger revenge. Our opponent will trigger revenge. Marked by teachers. Okay, there are various websites, so they probably used to be my my essay online at some point or another, but it seems to have disappeared. Disappeared into the nether. That's probably a good thing. There's one of those websites where you kind of like traded things. You put an essay in and then it let you take an essay out. Oh, what is it? With these secrets and everything through Arcanist. So you can play that game. That's going to gain 2/2 at the end of the turn, and that could become big and nasty real fast. So for reasons, we need to get rid of that firstly. Oh, ice barriers all over the place. Well, you guys picked well in grabbing humility, because we're going to be like, so, okay, you do have ice armor, but I'm just going to hit you in the face with my Wally. Wally to the rescue. Look at Wally go there. The shielded mini-bot of Win. Most excellent indeed. Go, shielded mini-bots. Arcane missiles, that kind of ruins our party. Particularly when it takes out all of our little lins. can just trade these for singles. But 9 mana and 2
Ready for this?
cards in hand. Down goes an Archmage. So if I just keep facing, it does feel like a face kind of opportunity. Providing of Kings, that will certainly cause some irritating problems. It's going to be hard to remove from the table. It fulfills all of our face tick boxes. So we have lethal next turn, unless our opponent trades. To trade, we must this into this, and then hand into whatever. Meaning that that leaves us with a solid 6. We're so close. Come on team, forward we go. We're going to get there, I think. Welcome! Hi Yasri! Have you with us? Stranglethorn Tiger hits the table. But we are so close. Oh, now we could have done with that a little bit earlier. The Kazan Mystic is not going to be of huge use at this point in time. What we can do is threaten a lethal unless trades. However, the faceless is not going to heal anything. So, firstly face. It's not quite GG, because my opponent can trade a whole bunch of things.
The light does not discriminate.
Ah, the Pikachu. We can get the Pikachu out later. GTA, oh yeah, obviously GTA is out on the PC as IS3 says, and I'm just resisting the temptation. Maybe it will drop in price a bit. Maybe I should trade in my PS3 copy to play it on PC. So this is the problem though. We're so close, but there's not much I can actually do. My opponent decides to leave that. Very much doubt that they will. So between... we could still lose this. I threw out my Consecrate very early. I've got nothing that can do 5, and the board's got away from me. We could play the Pokemon trading card game. This is of help, but it's not going to do everything that we require. So what I can do, what I need to do actually is just fill the table with threats. But this can be removed.
Well played.
It's well played. So however close we were, I should have probably controlled the minions on the table. Because I didn't control the minions on the table, even though we were so close to lethal, just not quite close enough. Just a little bit. Righty, so a couple more games I think we can fit in before our hour. Then, alas, I must away, for we have a video to get up.
Watch your back.
Okay, we are playing Rogue, a little bit of Valera. So let's trade everything back that's big and nasty costing, and let's try and grab early game picks. And Shielded Mini-Body's great, don't mind a Mechanical Yeti on 4. Fen Creeper on 5, also pretty strong as well. So, all well. Could coin into things. I'm actually just going to do that whole Face Hunter thing and just throw down an Abusive Sergeant, even though I lose its nasty little option. Buffing a minion for 2, and hey, if he's going to attack that with his little, I want to call it a Scarlet Chris. It's not a Scarlet Chris WoW style, a wicked knife. Well, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, look at our curve. This is what's nice about Arena. If you've got something strong every turn, and you can just throw down a big minion or a strong, awkward minion every turn, this is sure awkward. We might well see a backstab, I think, to remove this. Okay, he's using his control, he's taking damage. She's taking damage. They're taking damage. Right, so we could charge, we could Spider Tank. I'm going to lay down a Spider Tank. Now I don't have 2 4-drops, otherwise it'd be a good reason for it. Charging with a Wolf Rider would be fine. Sap. Okay, straight up Sap. 2 mana left to do things with. Abusive Sergeant. Straight down on the table, meeting one with another. But I can start throwing some nasty things. If Sap's been used on that, then we can quite happily. In fact, do I Yeti or do I Muster? I'm going to Muster. Now that will draw out a Blade Flurry if one is there. fan of knives, sorry, 1 to all minions and draw a card. That'd be very nice indeed. Destroy your weapon, deal its damage to all of it. This is a very, very fair point actually that PG raises. Let's face it, Ash Ketchum is a little bit on the old side now, I would say. He has certainly been Pokemoning. Well, if we think, in fact no, so if Ash was 8 or 9 or something, I think, when Pokemon first started, and Pokemon is 15? I think Pokemon could be 15. So if Pokemon's 15, Ash is now like 21. He's not really grown vertically too much, has he? So yeah, I get it. He's maybe not 50, but he's certainly aged, shall we say. Certainly got a little bit of an aging problem. As do a lot of anime characters. Dark Iron Dwarf hits the tail for just sheer trades. Isn't that interesting? But we've seen the gang up on Fen Creeper, so my opponent's now going to have 3 Fen Creepers that I'm going to have to get rid of. What this means is that I need to start hitting them in the face as soon as possible with as much as possible. Otherwise I'm going to Frown Town. Because punching through 3 Fen Creepers is going to be hard for me to do. Now if they start throwing them down, then I should have controlled this dwarf. So Avenging Wrath Consecrate, that would do me so much. If I can get this off the table, if I can Avenging Wrath to the face and not have the dwarf sponge it all up, that would be most beneficial. See if we can get someplace close. Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil. It's as if we're playing ladder. Oh! No, he didn't actually combo it, which is interesting. Is that a mistake? Because if he drops an other kind of drop... Yeah, he could have... Oh, he's gone for the 4 attack combo rather than the Tinker's combo. They would have actually both done the same thing. Avenge comes in. You see that buff. Now I have a horrible, nasty card. This is an 8-1. I might just remove that. That goes a walking. I can destroy both of those in one. So actually, we are golden or thereabouts. Down goes Avenging Wrath. I'm just going to attack everything in a very unlikely event. There you go. 6 to face. Another 7 to face. I think we're good. You just noticed the sun went away behind me. Yeah, it's been a lovely day here in the UK. You can probably see the new Pikachu is going to, I think, go yeah. We have Umbreon there, and Groot, and a few other things. It is no longer sunny times. Right, so here is the Gang Up. Now, Gang Up is an awesome and evil card that we must not take lightly. I can't stamp away this because it's not 2 or less attack. What I need to do is just throw some things down and be like, right, that's out of the way. We should still be fine unless something horrible or even more Fen Creepers come out, but we've got enough to punch out any tank pretty much out the way. 2 cards. Unless that's a healing antique bot of awesomes.
You call that a weapon?
Down goes Dark Iron. Yes, okay, nice play. Can remove. Yep, he's just suicided. Very nicely done. So, 1-1. There you go. So that worked more the way you wanted the deck to work. We managed to grab control in the early game with all of our goodness, and then keep chipping away with the mid to mid-late games. So, managed to make it happen. Loving that work.
Uther versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
I will.
Abusive Harvest, Lay on Hands. Right, well, no Lay on Hands. We can keep the other 2. Mulliganing for a shielded bot would be quite nice at this point. Down goes a Spider Tank. Okay, the options are lining up. What are we going to be going for? So, I'm going to Abusive first turn again. That didn't do us too much harm. They're going to be dropping into... Welcome, Varlopi. Varlopi. Let us know how you pronounce that. I think it's Varlopi. I'm going to go with Varlopi.
I am sorry.
Just played a coin for no reason. That's saddening. Mind you, let them without sin cast the first stone. I've definitely done that before. It's like, yay, just play a random card, see how it goes. Okay, so turn 3, muster for battle could give us some interesting options. It's actually kind of hard, unless a mage has one of those little explosive sheets. It's kind of hard for a mage to deal with lots of classes, bar warrior, find it, and paladin with consecrate, find it hard to deal with these many tokens this early in the game. So I can actually go really nicely into an arcane nullifier, which means you're going to have to sacrifice that harvest golem against the arcane nullifier. Spells can't get it, it's got to be traded away with minions or bust. Can be silenced, of course, I think. Going to up the amount of TF2 and CS ahead of Overwatch. I want to get myself in tune with the Overwatch meter. Remember what we said? We said, oh, if our opponent has an explosive sheep, that's going to be quite awkward. There's the explosive sheep that we saw coming in. I don't see anything wrong with a little bit of charge. I'm going to sacrifice a couple of health off my hero. That means that I keep this tank alive, which is always good. Thing's been removed. I want to get into some Overwatch. That'll be loads of fun. Overwatch, of course. Blizzard's new team shooter coming out in fall. Let's say fall is going to be autumn. It's going to say August. Not yet. Fall for beta, unless there's any other things, any other events. I cannot wait for Overwatch. I'm very excited for Overwatch. Hammer of Wrath is an obvious option. 3 damage remove. I'm not going to be able to throw other things down. I'd love to. If Overwatch is anywhere in the UK, I will go just so I can go and see it. What an entry. The jungle VIP. Right, 2 secrets. Immediately fighting occurs. Right, let's see. We're probably going to see a no ice armor. We could see now what's the minion we don't mind having on the table? We don't really mind a golem. So we'll see if one of those is a mirror entity now. Yeah, it sure is, but at least I can then play the bigger minion and not worry about it so much. So when thinking of a mirror entity, you want to make sure that you play the smallest minion first, and if you do that, then you're going to get first. I kid. If you do that, well then at least you're not going to get something big and horribly copied. If I play Tyrion and my opponent summons a Tyrion, then I'm kind of sad. Stamping Kodo is quite good at this point in time, though. Let us Kodo into this. And remember, Kodo's value affects you pick Kodo. There you go. And then if we punch that out the way, we've managed to get ready to punch into the face. How is it going? It's going very good. I've been playing I played a little bit of CSGO this morning. You guys got me into CSGO from a couple of games we played. So as I was just saying to PG in stream, getting to up the amount of TFC and not TFC, TF2 things ahead of Overwatch, because I used to be very average, very average at FPS, but I'd like to get some of that very averageness back so I can be at least semi-competent at Overwatch. Overwatch is a long way away, we have plenty of time. It was a tough morning. Righty then. Okay, let's see the inevitable ice armor, ice block come out. So one thing with ice blocks, and I used to be really rubbish at this, but when this happens, ideally want to get your opponent on lower health as possible. If you do 10 in one go, then of course your enemy hero is going to stay on 10, which you don't really want. What you would much prefer is to try and chip your enemy down to like 2 or 1, and then once that all's done, then even if they do ice block, you've got less damage that you need to get rid of in one go next game. Casual. Yeah, I've been doing some practice, a few little practice games. I think some of it's like Train, for example. I don't know if Train was an old Counter-Strike source or anything like that. But I don't recognise Train. There's a few other levels that I don't recognise, but I'm getting to learn. But hey, Dust 2. I'm happy with Dust 2. I can play Dust 2 all day. Okay, I'm going to be somewhat... Ooh, mirror entity. No, that's not going to help.
Speak to me.
Win! Well played! Okay, let's sneak in a final game. We can get one final game in 2-1. Forward with our arena. Your guys' deck is doing very, very nicely this evening, I must say. So pretty sweet. Remember, arena, all we've done is we've picked solid minions we can play every turn, good strong minions. We picked a few good class cards, things like Avenge has helped us a couple of times, Muster for Battle, also very, very good. And strong tanks and strong taunts. A lot of arena to me, and I'm no expert, but a lot of arena is just making sure you've got something strong to play every turn, and if you can get things that are always useful in Hearthstone, silences, tanks and taunts, big damagey things to finish the game off. Let's see how this game is. Right, well, Kazan is not so bad. I don't want it right now. You know what? Let's do a bit of a you only live once, as those kids say. Let's keep the Kazan and see if our opponent is throwing secrets at us. Woolly hand. Wisp, the Thane of Glamis, the Thane of Cawdor. Playing Merge or Cash, Dust is the map all the new people play, so you get better teams with that. It's probably why I'm playing Dust. Right, so I'm going to get frozen, but my opponent's going to be slightly sad when I play 3 mini-bots. Mini-bots, go! Fire Blast into a little trady weedy, that's, yeah, okay. No, just freezing me. Well, I don't have weapons, so I don't actually mind that too much. I could freeze myself. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna hold that humility because I've seen that to be more useful in other situations.
Death does not scare me.
Down goes a Death Lord. What is it with all these Death Lords? Okay, so we need to draw into our fabulous Stampede encoder. It's going to be tough for me to remove that. I think that Nullifier is nice, so I can freeze my Nullifier if they really want. Remember, Hero Power can't ping it. It's only got 4 on the table. It's going to take 2 turns if my opponent really wants to throw everything at this Nullifier. Unless Flame Cannon. Ah, but Flame Cannon got rid of the slightly less useful of the 2. Yep, you can't Hero Power my Arcane Nullifier. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I was quite excited with the fact that I just downloaded a bunch of the Hearthstone sound effects the other day. I managed to find how to do a bit of data mining. Where did I put them? That's the real question. Ah, I know where they are. They're in the Hearthstone folder. To the Hearthstone folder. I think I've got some. It's data and it's Windows and it's sounds. I'm going to give you a random sound effect. I've no idea what this is. That's a water elemental attacking. So yeah, there's a Stoneclaw totem. As you can imagine, this can be used for several things. Let's see what else we have. Okay. That can be painful if you've got earphones in, I do apologise. What have we got? Harrison Jones's whip. Sorry, I've just got totally lost in Hearthstone sound effects. Okay, right, so let's steal the secret with Kazan. Let's see what we got. Oh, knows why that card is so awesome. Oh, a duplicate. When a minion dies, I can put 2 into my hand. Yay! Oh, of all the cards to pull from a Death Lord, we pull Wisp. What else have we got?
This is our town, scrub.
You like my
Yeah, beat it.
This is our town, scrub.
If any of you have heard the little chug of that kid.
Yeah, beat it.
Ready for action.
Hey, lights out. Ha, this guy's toast.
No idea what that is. It sounds good.
Well played! Well played!
Ah, Jiraxis.
Thank you! Jiraxis is... sorry.
Sorry. Are they loud? I'll turn them down. Has Steve been? Ah, he was through. Yeah, we had him through. So I've duplicated my wisp. Excellent. Double the wisp.
Light it up.
He was through last week. Later last week. Cool. Okay, so to finish up our arena, beginning there, this will be our last game for this evening, so thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow we're going to ladder Wednesday. We might even do some Star Wars The Old Republic, Star Wars with friends. Grabbing a pal of mine who is very into Star Wars and has all kinds of interesting things to share. I really enjoyed Star Wars The Old Republic. I just dropped away from it a bit because I didn't have time to play the sort of end game, the kind of raiding and things, but they have some awesome fun battlegrounds and PvP, including a game called Hutball. So I'm hoping, you know, we'll do some Hearthstone ladder tomorrow night, and then we will do some Hutball. Star Wars The Old Republic is of course Star Wars MMO, EA and free to play, so you can download it, play a bunch of fun stuff for free, and play as the bounty hunters and the Jedis and the Siths and all of those kind of good things. And if you really want, you can just kind of be a plain old Imperial trooper as well. Right, Yeti, there's nothing I particularly want to humility, and it's going to take me a little time to start punching through these. Oh, I do like this Shakespearean thing that we've got going on here. Right, I'm going to turn down the volume so while we entertain ourselves.
I will return for the Lich King!
For the Lich King.
Powering down.
Hot, hot, hot! Ooh, fire!
Here come the voodoo.
Here comes the voodoo.
Brace for impact.
Oh!
Sneaky! Shush! Quiet!
Here I come.
Oh, the whirling mini bottle.
Intensification commencing.
Why are you stealthing? That doesn't override it.
The battle!
No, it just means I can attack anything. Yeah, the stealth overrides the taunt.
The battle!
Okay. Not entirely sure if that was our opponent's intended move. Oh, Mirror Entity, should have thought that one through.
I can't. I must attack that minion with
Saddens me a lot. Gonna at least make sure that I silence that down a bit.
Give that minion a turn to get ready. What now?
All the thinking
I
sounds.
wonder. Thanks.
You just make a troll soundboard.
Thanks.
Won't let me click thanks anymore. I have not played stuff. Oh, Leroy Jenkins. Oh, looks like they're going out on a low. Because they were done. I'd be sad if that was like Pyroblast. Pyroblast to the face. Star Trek on. Right, well, we can throw that out as a bit of a YOLO. Oh, well, that was actually rather convenient. We can keep ourselves alive. Almost another turn.
already attacked.
But I need an avenging wrath to turn things around here. So at least Leroy is no longer quite as scary. But they can certainly do 9 damage this game. Depending on what's left in their hand, that could be it. Chip, chip, chippity, chip, chip.
Don't mess with
Ooh, a cheaper Razorfin Hunter. Okay, well they can certainly do 6 next turn. They need to do 6. No, not quite actually. There's actually a good argument for just going face here. Face, 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 face. As long Star Trek Online is an interesting one, as long as I can run around and say Captain's log quite a lot. Now, and well played. So there we go. We leave ourselves on a 2-2. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's going to be us for this evening. Tomorrow for Ladder Wednesday, maybe some Star Wars Old Republic. Big loads of fun. This has been FailCraft, and I've been Hammy. And as always, if you want to come join us other places, if you've been on YouTube, do come and check out twitch.tv/FailCraft Casts. You can see that kind of about here, maybe about there, depending on where I've managed to put my camera. Live Monday through Friday, we tweet on that FailCraft Cast. We're going to be live. And of course, don't forget youtube.com/FailCraft Casts. Trying to get 1,000 subscribers. Coming up to our 200th Hearthstone half hour on the YouTube. You can find 2-minute deck guides, text, tips for new players, pick your own arenas like this one we've done today, and a whole bunch of other things besides. Hearthstone news, playthroughs of the latest adventures, and a lot more besides. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully, see you soon. Take it easy.